Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today we have a special episode that many of you will find very useful. Um, whether you're a fresh graduate or you are a working class person thinking about postgraduate studies like M.Sc or PhD, I think this is the video for you. And so, what are we discussing today? We're talking about the key differences between the M.Sc program in Nigeria versus the M.Sc program in the United States. And I have an amazing guest with me today. He's actually one of my friends. His name is Segun Okwade. So he has done the M.Sc program both in Nigeria and the United States. We were in the University of Michigan together when he was doing his M.Sc while I was doing my MBA. So he knows a lot about, the American system. And the value he also, bring to the table again today is because he has done the M.Sc program in University of Ilorin. I think he also did his undergrad in University of Ilorin. So I just believe that is the right person to tell us about the perspective, the differences between the M.Sc program in Nigeria versus the M.Sc program in the United States. So let's take a deep dive into the topic. And first, we want a clear understanding of what people should expect, especially when they're trying to do their M.Sc in the United States. And if they also plan to do it in Nigeria as well, I'm sure he has experience enough to give us perspective. But then let me try to introduce Segun to you. So Segun, over to you. Can you introduce yourself to the viewers and give us a bit about your background?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Elijah. That's very wonderful introduction. I'm not sure I could do that for myself, but anyway, my name is Olusegun Gokwade, and I had my first and second degree from the prestigious University of Ilorin in Nigeria, and yeah, I was basically in research throughout, and then from there, after my MSc program in University of Ilorin, I moved straight to United States to continue to expand on the things that I've learned when I was in Nigeria. And so I also got admitted into the prestigious University of Michigan as well. University of Michigan
I
is
agree.
rated the second best public research university in the United States. I by inference number 21 in the whole world. So yeah, thank God for it. And if I have to pick both experiences, I think it's been awesome.
So,
So
so what I'm trying to get from the question I asked is, when you look at your MSc program, your MSc experience in Nigeria, and when you got to United States, were there like clear differences that you could observe that really triggered you, or something that stood out for you the most when you started the program in University of Michigan?
yes, let's not beat around the bush. There is a notion of difference between the academic structure in Nigeria and in the United States,
Yeah,
especially at the graduate level. The difference between those two programs is like the difference between distance between Nigeria and the United States. It's
yeah,
way different. The only commonality is the fact that you come out with MSc, MS, PhD, but the journey is not the same. Let me start from the Nigeria experience.
okay,
In the Nigeria experience, when you are applying to study for MSc in Nigeria,
mm,
it's pretty much of a straight-jacket approach.
yeah,
You are most likely going to continue from what you graduated with when you were in the undergrad grade school. Okay.
yeah,
Of course, the main difference is that in Nigeria, before you are being considered for the MSc program, you must
mm,
be at the top of your grade, at least a minimum of 2-1 before you are
okay,
going to be admitted. But your option is very limited to how far you can go in terms of dynamism in another program. I mean,
yeah,
for example, you cannot graduate with accounting in Nigeria and say
yeah,
you want to delve into IT as your MSc. You're going to have to go and do postgraduate diploma and all of that to be able to be fit. But that is not the same in the United States. It's
yeah,
so dynamic. Number two is that when you are able to enter eventually for MSc program in Nigeria,
mm,
the the program is kind of like a routine in the sense that you can literally take what your senior colleagues, those that have been there before you can usually take everything that they learn and then read to it. You will most likely 60% of the time be taught the same thing. It's
Yeah.
more or less theoretical.
Hmm.
You understand in Nigeria, but in
Yeah.
the United States, it is not. Oh.
Hmm.
It is so dynamic, it is so rigorous, and it is so creative and it's so realistic in nature.
Okay, let me take you up on that because I mean I maybe it's a misconception I also have. So what we've always known is that they always say that Nigerian education system, especially the M.Sc system, is so rigorous that when people get abroad or get to United States or wherever or UK, they have like a roller coaster, just chilling through the program because the kind of rigor that Nigerian education system take people through, make you to be ready for every challenge, such that when you now get to United States for M.Sc again, it just feels like a revision and it just feels easy. Is that the misconception that we have, or you think that is true?
So I will say yes and no. Yes,
Hmm.
in the sense that the path that you take in Nigeria prepare you to face challenges.
Hmm.
Okay, build a kind of a strength in you that you are just nothing is so new in terms of challenge. You know that you can always surmount it. I mean, you've gone through the undergraduate where you are threatened that you cannot graduate, and
Yeah.
then you weather through the storm. You're able to do that.
Hmm.
Such thing will not happen to you in the United States. God forbid. Okay, you do the postgraduate program in Nigeria. You've seen how your professors are threatening you that your 2 years will not be your 2 years.
Okay.
Like your project is not enough, your research is not enough, and all those stuff. So yes, it prepares you to be able to face different place. But getting to the United States, it is
Yeah.
no, because it does not have any connection with how far you can cope with the program. And it is not a walk in the park. It's not like
Yeah.
because you started in Nigeria with, yeah, there's this misconception that say that in Nigeria that if you finish with third class and
Yeah.
when you get to the United States, you'll be first class. Lie to shock you. Lie.
Okay.
In fact, let me tell you one thing from experience.
Yeah.
I have in the last 11 years, I've been in the academic space. So I know this deep down like my second name. It
Yeah.
is not the same. In Nigeria, for a single course that you registered for, you may be using just two textbooks for the
Hmm.
whole of the semester. But in the United States, you use one textbook for one class. I mean, if you have two classes in a week, one is for one day. You will
Well,
have
I
to
agree.
do
I
the
agree with that. At least in our program as well, in during the MBA, I mean, what a lecturer will cover in a 2 hour lecture, you will probably be amazed. By the time you are done with the lecture, you are confused because he has introduced a lot of concept in 2 hours, and you need to like figure out what is going on. So,
what
I mean, I may agree with that, but I
so
want us to move ahead because also, I have about eight, discussion points for you, and I don't want us to spend too much of time, as well. So, what I want you to explain to people is the conditions and criteria for M.Sc in Nigeria and the M.Sc in US. So, if anybody is thinking about doing M.Sc in Nigeria, you have the experience. What is the condition like? What is the criteria like? But if they are thinking about it in terms of, going to the United States, how should they think about their application? I know there's a GPA factor. I don't know if there is a need. I don't know the kind of application you write, to get to University of Ilorin versus going to the University of Michigan. So I'm just trying to like get the conditions and criteria that differentiate the M.Sc program in the United States from the one in Nigeria. If you can explain.
okay, yeah, thank you so much for the question. Like I said earlier, applying for graduate program in Nigeria is kind of straightforward. You know,
Okay.
the major precondition to entering a program in Nigeria is to have a higher GPA. Okay, once you have a minimum of like the University of Ilorin will not consider you for MSc program if you don't have 2-1. Just go and forget it because the competition is high. But once you have the 2-1, then you'll be subjected to entry exam,
Yeah.
which will take about maybe 2 or 3 hours. But if you know your onions, you will pass, and that's it. You may not even need a recommendation letter, you know, to
To
enter
get into the MSc
get
program,
into
right?
the MSc program. You may not need it. The different programs have their different approach, but basically, you may not exactly need it. Higher GPA, and then when
Mm,
you write the qualifying exam, you score higher points too, and then you get into the program. Welcome. You start your program in Nigeria, but in the United States, no. The application packet system is so huge that they wanted everything about what has been your life since you were born. So here in the United States, before you enter into a graduate program, be it MSc, MBA, PhD, and what have you, you have to write statement. We call it SOP. It is called statement of purpose. Why
yeah.
do you want? Why exactly do you want this program? And in that, there are a lot of things that you have to consider in writing. It could be some schools could say that they want it to be just 500 letters, while some will say they want 1,000. So you have to
One
just
1,000
1,000 words.
words. Okay, I see. Yeah,
Yeah, some school can say 1,000 words, while some will limit it to just 500. The the more it is, the more the
yeah,
letter criteria it is, the more you are able to express yourself. The narrower they ask for it, if they ask for 500, it becomes more difficult for you to be able to express yourself because you have a
yeah.
lot of things that you want to pack inside. So that's where also you have to go and take a training. In my own case, before I started applying
Mm.
to United States, I went to EDS to go and take a course on how to
Before,
write.
how to apply?
Yes, how to apply. I bought a course in EDS and Coursera to know how to write statement of purpose and personal statement because
Wow,
you are competing with everybody around the world,
true.
and most likely they have better GPA than you.
Mm.
But a good thing about the United States is that they don't place too much emphasis on GPA alone to
Okay,
enter.
what about GRE? Because I also know that you guys write GRE or to get.
Yes.
Is it required for all the MSc programs, or is just like an optional and
So
uh
this is the way it works.
hmm,
Now, a lot of schools, maybe almost 40% of the schools in the United States are now waiving the GRA requirement. But
yeah.
don't get it wrong.
Hmm.
It's a way to pamper you to not get the admission.
Okay, no. Wait, let me come in there. So
Okay.
I think they also look at all that things in your application package when you do not have a GRE. I mean, like I don't know. You can correct me if that is just for MBA or uh, the the business
Business
program.
program.
So for MSc, are you saying that if you don't submit GRE as part of your MSc package, you are at a disadvantage, even if you have like maybe experience? Okay, maybe I also don't know the what does experience really count for MSc
It
in your
does
in
so I will use my own example. Okay.
yeah.
I did not write GRE before I entered the University of Michigan. I did not. And I simply argue on the fact that I was coming with 2 degrees already. One.
Okay,
Then
true.
two is that I have heaps of research publications that they that are submitted, so they could see that I know this thing. I know how to use advanced mathematics, how to do calculations, and how to interpret them to a layman's language. So
Yeah,
for me, instead of basing their judgment on the GRA alone,
yeah,
I waived it for me because they could see that have been in the journey. But for others, it may not.
yeah,
What DRE does for you essentially is that it puts your 2 feet on the door to get
yeah.
scholarship. In
Oh, okay,
fact,
yeah. Oh, yeah,
that is the major advantage of GRE. It gets you closer to scholarship. And you know, scholarship money, we are talking about money here. I mean,
true.
for in our University of Michigan, when if you
Yeah,
want to do MSc program in University of Michigan, the cheapest is $93,000 per year.
yeah.
While
It is
for
quite
MBA
expensive.
it's around 130, right? So where do you want to see 93,000?
130. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're true. Yeah. No, for MBA is I think it's about 77,000 per year now. So
Have you added everything
that's about
together?
140, 150
Yeah.
thereabouts.
If you had everything together, because you will not enter United States without proving that you
True.
can yeah. So, but with GRE, you can get scholarship that will
Yeah.
waive the whole thing for you with
So
GRE.
what else? I want to ask a question. Does GRA also give you to like a higher pool of schools you can go to in the United States, or you think GRA it doesn't matter? Or how does that work?
No, it doesn't exactly matter. The pool of schools that you can get to in the United States depends on your hard work. Okay, if you set a target that you want to apply to 20 schools,
Yeah.
the pressure is on you to be able to tweak your
That's okay.
CV, your SOP, your personal statement, and then to speak with your recommenders that please, so you'll be writing 20 different recommendations. And then last catch is that some schools will not waive application fee for you. So you must have
Oh, I see. So you have to be coughing out almost
a
one
lot
fifty
of money,
dollar.
like $150, $75, $30, $100, 120, depending on the school you are applying to. You
Hmm.
understand? So GRE doesn't limit you in a way.
Yeah.
You understand? But it gets you closer. When they are considering the totality of the evaluation,
Yeah.
GRE score gives you more points to be higher than some people.
Okay, I agree. Okay, let me take you up on something else. You said that from the Nigerian standpoint, you need a higher GPA to
Yes,
like to get to the MSc program in Nigeria.
yes.
Do you think that really counts for something again in the United States?
It
I know
does.
it does, but I don't know how much of value you want to place on that. And the
It,
reason why I'm asking you again is that if people are thinking about going to United States for MSc and they cannot change their GPA, do you think that is a disadvantage, or how do they like think about that? If
it's
they have like,
it's in two ways.
hmm,
Let me quickly answer the questions in two ways. So you cannot underestimate, we
hmm.
cannot overemphasize the advantage of finishing strong during your
That's
undergraduate
for people
program.
that are currently in the university
In
and
the
that can
current
change it.
university, yes. If you finish with a first class in Nigeria,
Yeah,
you are most likely going to get admission into school very quickly than
yeah,
people with 2-1. Like take for instance in the University of Michigan that we both
yeah,
graduated from, if you are applying for PhD program, which is purely research in our
yeah,
university, if you have a first class, if you graduated with a first class,
yeah.
forget it, they will shop for you. they
Okay,
will,
fair
they
enough.
will look for you. But if you don't have first class, then you now have to prove yourself. You have a lot
Hmm.
of things to do, work experience, extracurricular activities, your volunteerism work. Yeah, don't count that one two out. You have a lot of volunteer work. They want to see that you are able to balance other things
Yeah,
with academics. Because
yeah,
for them in the United States, the emphasis is not so much that you will not graduate. They know that you will graduate, but they want to scoop investment from you after graduation. And
true.
that comes from, they know that the pressure, they will put pressure on you. How are they going to know that you're going to be able to cope with the pressure? It is the fact that you're able to do other things with
Yeah,
school, and then you prove it in your CV, and then you get
yeah.
it.
Okay, I want us to move on, but like I said, I think in one of my videos, I mentioned the importance of GRA, and the reason why I was trying to like emphasizing GRA or GMAT for people that are going for that are thinking about the MSc or postgraduate studies in the United States again is your GPA, you cannot change it. If you
At all.
have 2.2 or you have third class or you have 2.1, you cannot change that. So I'm only just thinking about if you don't worry about things you cannot change, you only worry about things you can change.
Yeah.
So things you can change, which is the GRA. Why can you not spend 3 months, preparing for the GRA or GMAT or which one, and get
Why?
higher score and have a higher chance of like scholarship, more scholarship, that's like more money in your bank account, and have even access to like more higher ranked schools. Well, we don't when I got to use, I discovered that they really don't care about all that. But from the Nigerian perspective, you want to also get to the United States schools where all your friends and family know in Nigeria, so that you can say that, I mean, I'm going
In
to Harvard.
fact,
I
in
mean,
fact,
we know now from experience that really the schools really do not matter. The Americans don't really care about the ranking of the schools when they are giving you jobs. So anyway, that's it. But let's move on. I want to take you up on something else, and that is how do you survive during your program. I mean, thinking about it, when you were doing your program in Loring and when you were doing your program in United States, what would you say is your surviving strategy, and what are the different challenges you can think about, looking at both programs?
Okay, thank you for the question. Surviving in Nigeria during my graduate program, I will
Mm.
pretty much say lean so much on the fact that I knew I came into this program and I wanted to graduate, and not just graduate, but graduate in time. So
In
I
Nigeria, right?
in
Okay.
Nigeria, because you have to have that determination in Nigeria that you want to graduate in 2 years. Otherwise, the Nigerian university system can will allow you to spend 7 years in 2 years program.
For
It's not
MSc
that.
program.
Yes, it's not that problem. They will be
So wait,
collecting.
wait, wait. Let's look at that. So is it that they won't push you out if you are like wasting time doing the program, or how does that? Why do you have to spend 7 years when you?
Your advisor will not recommend you for graduation if you have not met the mark that is set for you. That standard. He won't recommend. And if your advisor didn't recommend you, the department will not consider your results that will take to PG school.
And you will still be in the system, and they will not push you out.
Yes, they will not push you out. I think the only university that I know that pushes people out now is University of Ibadan. But I think other
Okay.
universities don't. You don't graduate and keep coming. You'll be renewing your studentship by paying school fees. As long as you have an intention to graduate, you still keep paying school fees until you meet that standard that your advisor. And you know, most of the advisors they went through this rigor that they feel
Rigor.
like they
Yeah.
have to go through that same problem like them. So they will become unnecessarily tough. You understand?
Mhm.
That's something that does no matter like that. So that's Nigeria. Then another thing is for Nigeria, what makes you cope in Nigeria is the fact that you know it's Nigeria. You have
Yeah.
the network. It's your
Yeah.
natural environment, your natural
True.
habitat. It's like a fish that is in the pond. You don't
Yeah.
struggle. You have a lot of other fishes to relate to it. You can
Yeah.
quickly make requests for urgent 2K in Nigeria. So you'll be able to survive. You
Yeah.
understand? But the story is not the same in the United States. It's a
Mm.
new place, new culture, new environment, new people, new language. Forget that we are speaking Nigerian English. English is different in the United States. Okay. New people, you are seeing new faces. They are scared of you. You are scared of them.
Yeah.
You are looking. It's not like anybody is handing over paper part to you to go and read as material. What do we call it in Nigeria again? Handout.
Handouts. Yeah.
It's not like that. You basically everything is done on canvas. So all the books that you need is on
Yeah.
canvas, except the other ones that they will recommend to you for you to go and buy with your own
Yeah.
money. So you have a lot of things to chew. The
True.
pressure is a lot in the
Mm.
United States, and the school is also counting time, like our University of Michigan. They're always looking at, I don't know if you saw it, but
Yeah.
yes, in my school, at the end of the year, the school will publish, they will make a publication of people that enroll, and then they will say male gender, this is the percentage that graduated in time, female, by international, this. So you don't want to become an international student. Like in my, in my school, the international student had 100% on time finish rate.
Okay.
Okay, so you
I
don't want
mean,
to spoil the record.
yeah.
So you are constantly moving, constantly thinking, constantly. But one another thing is that you're able to survive because there are a lot of resources that will allow you to grow in the United States. A
Mm.
lot of resources from the student center that will keep checking on you. They attach an advisor for you that will keep monitoring what you are doing. The student center will be checking your grade to see that you are doing well. You have a lot of scholarship that you can apply for and make quick bulk. You
Yeah.
can make quick money.
And free food.
Free food pantry. Oh, pantry for milk and bread. You get free food. You know, you don't spend a lot of money on food really. If you go to big schools like ours, you go there and pick food, pick milk, pick kitchen utensils and all. You know,
Yeah.
so that you can literally survive if you know your way around. One, don't keep quiet. Make
Mm.
friends very quickly in the United
Yeah.
States. You'll be able to survive. And then make friends with all the resources that are available, like library, like your colleague, and all of them. They will allow you to survive very quickly. And before you know it, you'll get acclimatized. But first, you will struggle your first semester. That's it. That's the truth.
Don't
Because
scare people. But that's the truth because especially you're trying to even settle, maybe you're even coming from the country and you don't even know your way around the US, your flight
yes.
was delayed, you don't have money again. I mean, there are a lot of problems that
And if you
make
go to
people.
big schools like ours, the
Yeah.
big schools are they have targets. So they have target for the professors. The professor is also passing that target to you. So the pressure is is a lot. Everybody is
Yeah.
just quickly me on their feet. So
Okay, let me take you up on something else.
okay,
I know that when we're in University of Michigan, you were the richest in on campus because we were making a lot of money. So, uh, as people were thinking about assessing opportunities, I think that, and that is a valid fear. But I think generally, I can now tell people that the fears they have of traveling internationally, where maybe coming to the United States for postgraduate program, is not valid. Is the fact that there are a lot of ways to make money, and there are a lot of ways to get going with the program without necessarily stressing too hard. So I want to ask you, in your program, how do people how should they assess opportunities? I wanted to talk about like the on campus work they can do. How do they even get job outside of when they finish the program? In fact, that's also another very big point I wanted to make. How do M.Sc think about next level to get jobs outside the program? Because typically the assumption is that when you come for M.Sc or postgraduate study, you should be a lecturer. But I don't know if you have like different view of
no,
how they should think about how people should think about the postgraduate
you
studies.
know me, you know me very well. You know I have different views, and I'm living the views. Okay, but let me first dispel the initial thing that you said I was the richest in school.
Okay.
No, you are richer than me. Wait,
Let's
wait.
move on. Let's move on from there.
But then the question is split into two. How do you assess opportunities while
Yeah.
in the program? Like I said earlier, there are resources for you in the United States that you can tap into, that will allow you to make quick buck. One of
Yeah.
it is the fact that I remember when I first came in, I came in very poor and wretched.
I agree.
Okay. You know, you know, we flew the same plane to the United States. Okay. But like we used to say in Nigeria, a closed mouth is a closed destiny.
Yeah.
So don't close your mouth. So one of the first thing I did was I went to my student center, and then they gave me they kept sending me links about resources.
Yeah.
The resources include on campus jobs. Okay, there were a lot of things that you could do in campus. Like in my university, I interviewed for first. The first thing I did was I interviewed for what we call telephone, and that's a unit that I used to call the alumni that
Yeah.
hello, you have graduated. Have they call you? They will call you in another 6 months. You have graduated. Are you doing post graduation? Are you working? Where are you working? Okay, thank God, everything is going well. So those people they make alumni to commit to a certain donation every
Yeah.
month or every year. So those people that make calls to generate fund for the university,
They make
the
money.
university pays them per
Yeah.
hour. So if you pass the interview, you get that, and then it's a flexible job. You can even be
Yeah.
at your home and be making calls on behalf of as long as you log in. Good one. You can become graduate assistant in research or in teaching.
Yeah.
You can be university grader. You can work in the university dining. You
Yeah.
can
And
you have
wash plate.
yes,
Yeah.
you have a lot of places that you can work. You understand? But one of the things when I didn't get the job very quickly, it was not because I didn't get the job quickly, but the circumstances that surround my mm, my process in my first semester,
Yeah.
I didn't understand the magnitude of the program, and of course, it
Yeah.
is very rigorous. So I knew that combining job will wreck me. So I have to stay away from making job and then making sure that I understand the culture first. So one thing that worked for me was that the university sent my student center sent me a link that I can apply for a certain grant in the university. So
Yeah.
I applied for the grant. They led me how to do it and how to win it. I applied for the grant and I got $2,500. So I didn't tell you that.
Yeah. I know you didn't tell me.
You
I don't
get
want to
that?
pay
So
tax.
they keep telling they keep if you don't close your mouth, they keep exposing you to opportunities and resources. They give you list of the alumni network. From the
Yeah.
alumni network, you could get a remote job from them to make
Yeah.
quick buck and several other things. So in the United States, it's a country of opportunity. Now
Yeah.
I know why people always talk about American dream. Opportunity abounds except you don't try to extend beyond uh, being introvert. But if you are not too introverted, you can always get the resources and make things
Okay,
happen.
okay, I want to ask a question. So again, let's go back to Nigeria, right? So
Okay.
when you were doing your programming in Ilorin, were there, I mean, like similar opportunities, or I mean, maybe not exactly the same. Do you have like that kind of opportunities where you can still grade and get paid? Or I mean, I don't know the opportunities that
No.
M.Sc.
So if you are MSc, if you are doing MSc in Nigeria,
Yeah.
only very few in your class will
Hmm.
have the opportunity to even be closer with the lecturers. Uh,
Why?
because they are God, they are almighty in Nigeria. You mean you could just be walking to your professor 7 anyhow? No, you can't. So
Yeah.
the people that have that access are able to break that ice
Yeah.
and penetrate, have the opportunity to probably help in
Hmm.
grading students or
Yeah.
even taking the undergraduate class. But let's not make any mistake about it. It is unpaid.
Oh, okay, okay, wait. So like you don't get paid at all if you
You
grade.
don't. You don't in Nigeria. You don't.
Wow.
You don't. Except the lecturer just look at you from his or her own magnanimity
Yeah.
and give you some maybe 500 naira to take a bike home or something, but you
Hmm.
don't get paid for it. There is no structure
So the
like
money they
that.
pay in University of Michigan, like in university generally,
Yeah.
where do they get the money from? Is it the lecturer's budget or the school's budget, or how do they think about
So,
the
so
money
are you saying for the
for grading?
GSI
Yeah,
for
for
grade?
grading. Yeah,
So this is the way it works. The university has calculated it. University charge us like our
yeah,
University of Michigan. They
yeah,
charge every student per course per credit.
yeah.
Take for instance, the University of Michigan charges in my program, they charge $3,336 per
Hmm.
credit. So if you are doing a course and it is 3 credit course, it means that you are going to be paying like $10,000 for that
Yeah,
3 credit course.
yeah,
So now imagine the number of students that is taking that course. They
yeah,
have factored in the amount that they will pay for GTA, graduate research assistant or
yeah,
graduate teaching assistant from it. So all of it like that, they calculated it all together and it make up for the school fee waiver they give to
yeah.
GSIs and also the stipend. So it has been calculated. They are not running into
So, so,
loss.
so, so really, students pay as part of the
Students,
school fees the money they give
in
to like
fact,
you guys to grade. Hmm.
yes, if in fact, having done everything in University of Michigan,
Hmm.
I've gone through all the steps, and I was a grader, I was a teacher, I was a researcher. I went through all the grades throughout my program, so I knew how this works.
Yeah,
The thing is that they make the pay out of that, out of the money that students. The higher the number of students that register for a class, the
yeah.
more they are able to employ assistants.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
so a
see.
class that has a student enrollment of 10 may not even have, the professor might not be given opportunity to employ anybody to help. But
True.
that's different from a class that has like 50 students. They'll be
Yeah,
able to employ so many different schools use this different meaning. In University
yeah,
of Michigan, we use GSI, graduate
hmm,
student assistant, or
yeah,
graduate teaching assistant, or graduate. Other schools just use GAs or Harris. So it is from
yeah,
there they're able to employ as many graduate students as possible. So a student
yeah.
that
Okay,
student
let me take you back. I asked that question before that. So in Nigeria, when you finish M.Sc, do you see some of your colleagues that eventually get corporate jobs and they get like good salary from that? I'm just trying to like explore what are the post, you know, postgraduate jobs that people can get in corporate. Because I just believe that people go for M.Sc and eventually what is in their mind is that they want to lecture. So if you don't lecture in Nigeria and you do M.Sc, what are the opportunities like? And do people get like a higher salary to justify the M.Sc program? And how do you compare that with what you currently have observed in the US?
Okay, thank you for the question. So in Nigeria, a
Hmm.
lot of people come back to do MS in Nigeria because they couldn't get a job after their undergraduate program. Let's
Fair
be
enough.
realistic. A
Yeah.
lot of people do. They, so for in my own case, no, I was a born teacher, so it's just natural for me to continue in my research.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, also in Nigeria, the school that you graduated from
Mm.
the, has a lot to play with the kind of job you're able to get.
Yeah, that may be true as well.
You know, let's just be, you cannot bring a graduate from OAU and a
Yeah.
graduate from um, um,
Don't
Nasarawa.
mention it. Don't mention
Okay,
it.
one underneath university that
Yeah,
is
yeah,
very
I
good,
agree. Yeah.
and then apply to say Deloitte
Yeah.
in Nigeria. OAU will naturally get it quickly.
Okay, well, yeah, true. I mean, they still look at the ranking and the prestige
The
of the
ranking
school.
of the school.
Yeah.
And most importantly, it is not guaranteed that you get job in Nigeria. Let's
Even
just,
with your MSc.
with your MSc, it is not a guarantee. Only very small, minute percentage of people get it. That's why a lot of people finish with MSc in Nigeria and
Hmm.
then enroll for PhD immediately, just to keep themselves busy and then to narrow the point that they will be able to get academic
Lecturing job.
job. You understand? So
Yeah.
it's, but in the United States, it is not the same.
Hmm.
Once you come for your graduate, let me use the general term graduate
Yeah.
program in the United States,
Yeah.
be it MSc, MBA, or M
Yeah.
whatever and PhD. As an international student, I think this should also be a different episode entirely,
Yeah.
because there's a way you need to do it. In Nigeria, you can wait until you
Hmm.
finish program before you start
Hmm.
applying for a job. In the
Yeah.
United States, it's not like that. 8 months
True.
before your graduation,
You're
you
already
must
thinking about
apply to
internship.
jobs like a very crazy person, doing internship during your program and all, because they still want you to, no matter the experience that you are bringing from Nigeria,
Yeah.
the the firms here in the United States want you to have the US job experience, and
Yeah.
that's why internship, sweeps and all are
Yeah.
really emphasized. And in fact, getting on campus job, if you cannot secure internship, is also job in the United States, because they will ask your experience plays a crucial role to your employment. So
Yeah.
in United States, you have to be forward thinking. You have to be
Great.
like 6 months ahead of the time. So that's
Yeah.
just different. But again, United is a land of dream. If you can work it, you will get it.
Okay, let's talk about solution so that we are not all talking about dooms, 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 and dooms. So you've experienced the both systems, right?
Yes.
You've experienced the Nigerian system doing your MSc program, which you completed. You've completed the program again in US. So if you want to like propose a change, what do you think would be the biggest improvement that you were
Hmm.
going to suggest to to make the MSc or the postgraduate programs in Nigeria generally to be at par with what you experience in the United States?
Okay. Thank you for that question. And because Nigeria is home, so we
Yeah,
must always advance things that will, tie us back to the home and make home a very great place.
yeah,
Make no mistake, Nigeria academic settings trains you to be good. I will not even play that, because
mm,
after I've been able to unlock the code of how
yeah,
things work in the United States, I
yeah,
was always ahead of my class. If I did not speak in class, the professors will not be very comfortable. What's wrong with you? Shagun, speak, because they know that the point at which I'll be speaking from is very
yeah,
rich. That's
yeah,
what Nigeria education system gives to you. So how can
yeah,
we make graduate program in Nigeria better? What's the difference? The
yeah,
method Nigeria should try and de-emphasize the heavy theoretical leaning approach in graduate programs in Nigeria. Our
mm,
programs are too um, it's kind of routine.
yeah,
So many lecturers in Nigeria, they don't get to change their curriculum 10 years at a stretch. It
mm,
is not the same in the United States. I remember that in the United States, in my second semester, I took a course. So the course is part A and part B. You are going to continue this B part in the following semester. And when we finish the part A, a lot of
mm,
things that we considered are changed.
yeah,
in the environmental experience, because we are looking at the global dynamics, how we can help the climate change. It was
Yeah.
during that time that we noticed that the entire world is recording the higher percentage every day of world heat. We are hitting world heat record every day.
Yeah.
So barely, it was just barely 1 month apart. The
Hmm.
curriculum has changed to the present reality, that we were
Wow.
considering cases of what happened yesterday. You understand? But in Nigeria, no, you don't. You can't even get to talk to your lecturer or professor in class. And no, something happened. It has changed. You're on your own in Nigeria. So Nigeria should try and make it experiential and
Yeah.
experimental.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is that to improve the totality of the Nigeria academic structure.
Experience.
Yes,
Hmm.
the person that is being trained, okay, I the education system is in constant demand of
Yeah.
cash injection, funding.
Yeah.
Education needs a lot of funding. So maybe government, corporate organizations, rich people, they need to actually do a lot in funding the university system. I
Yeah.
have a friend who is doing cancer research, PhD,
Yeah.
University of Michigan, and he's doing cell acculturation and all of that. The amount that it takes for his lab to buy cell
Hmm.
alone every week, we
Yeah.
pay, I'm not exaggerating, we pay all the lecturers in my department in University of London.
So yeah, so let's talk about that funding, because I also know that if you look at like the portfolio of most of these big schools, you will see like endowment fund, you will see like even like some private equity funds, you will see University of Michigan also made like money from sports. Is it like a kind of innovative way of making the university feel like a business, like because it's so shocking that University of Michigan make more money from football than from every other thing that they do. So I'm just thinking that is it like an innovative way of trying to make things work in the country, so that we are not like blaming government and calling government on every
Yes,
thing
yes,
that
it
goes
was.
wrong.
Yes, you're actually correct. The university, and it was shocking because, recently there's this Free Palestine issue after the Israel issue in October 27 last year,
Yeah.
and then there was that large issue of Free Palestine across the universities in the United States. So I
Yeah.
was looking at the university portfolio and how they get their money.
Mm.
It's so shocking that what University of Michigan declared as their
Yeah.
profit in
Yeah.
2022 was
Yeah.
actually larger than the entire Nigeria budget for a year. Profit. They declare $1.52 billion as profit. How are they doing it? The investor has been so creative about the fact that once they get maybe a private person or corporate organization
Yeah.
to give them money, they
Mm.
don't spend the money immediately. Like in
Yeah.
Nigeria, that maybe one
Investing.
person will just come and donate 1 million naira to a university, and the university will just spend it on something. It is
Yeah.
not the same in
Yeah.
universities in the United States. They go and invest it
Yeah.
in a special purpose vehicle, okay, and then the return is what they are using. So that same money can last
Yeah.
as far as 25 to 50 years, and they will still
Yeah.
be able to do other. So the administrators in our Nigerian universities needs
Yeah.
to get creative. They
I
need to
agree.
find ways to fund the university without solely relying on government. These
Yeah.
things are doable. It's just, these people are not, maybe they are smarter, but I don't
Mm.
think they have more brain than Nigerians.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just the will of the administrators of most of those university, like to think about the university as a business, because that's the only way it can actually
Because it's a
work.
business.
It has to be like a business, and it doesn't have to like kill the student really, because I
Oh,
mean I also know that there are some students in University of Michigan that are earning even more than investment bankers while they are playing football for the for the
yes.
school, like like they
University of
ride
Michigan
nice cars.
football coach
Yeah.
is the highest earning person in the whole of University of Michigan, even more than the president.
So yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's just about the innovation that
Yeah,
we need to like put
just
into.
think outside the box.
Yeah, I mean, time is going, and we've almost. But I have like maybe the last thing so that we can close it is when you think about the advice you will give to people, and I want you to break down the advice into two. So there are new graduates that want to go for uh, postgraduate programs, and there are working class people that are already working, like work. They have probably 5 years experience. How do you will your advice be different, when you are talking to somebody that's like have like 5 year work experience, I want to go back to school, or somebody that just graduated from university, I want to do MSc? Do you think the experience really counts, or do you think you will advise a fresh graduate to go for postgraduate study immediately? I don't know how you think about the advice, and you can also give the perspective both from doing it in Nigeria or going coming to the United States to do it. Hmm.
Yeah, thank you. I will. My advice first will go to those that are just finishing um, undergraduate program in Nigeria or that are still there,
Yeah,
about to finish. It's worth reinstating that finishing with good grades is a key. It will play a lot advantage for
yeah.
you because you are competing with a lot of people across the world. You need to see, do you think Nigerians are doing JAPA for education purpose? Please go and check the Chinese and the Indians.
I agree. I mean, there are a lot of them
Like
everywhere.
they are 20 times more than
Yeah,
our size.
yeah,
And so they're just everywhere. So you are competing with these people, and these people they are having big grades. So finishing
yeah,
well, it's very important. Okay, and if your dream is to go abroad and study more, please set it as your priority and work very well along with it. If you are just finishing your program or you are just about to finish, well, you can do anything that you want. If you want to continue in Nigeria, fine. If you want to go abroad, US, UK, Canada, Australia, and hop. But it's important that you are able to set your priorities right. Don't
yeah,
say because a lot of people are doing it, you want to do it too. It is individualistic because when you get in there, what you are going
yeah,
to experience is very personal.
yeah,
You are not going to make any reference to people that push you there that you saw. You understand? So know what you want and go for it, be it in
yeah,
Nigeria or anywhere in the world. For people that have work experience and they are
yeah,
considering going back to school, and if United States is your destination, so that's where the United States is different.
yeah.
There's no ceiling to
Mhm.
extent at which you can go. You can
Yeah,
wake up when you are 65 and say you want to go back to school. You are welcome as long as you can cope with the program. So, in
yeah.
fact, I will even tell you this that if you have they call it gap year in the United States,
Gap
that
year.
gap year that
Okay.
you after your initial program in school, maybe you
Yeah,
graduated with undergraduate program or graduate program, you've gone to work,
yeah,
you have experience, maybe 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. The
yeah.
gap year, they place the gap year people in another
Mm.
box, and then there are specialized scholarship that only people that have gap year can apply for.
Wait. So what you are saying is that if somebody has like a 3, 4, 5 year work experience after graduating undergrad, and he goes back to do the postgraduate studies, they have like scholarship, special scholarship for them.
Yes,
Does it
yes.
depend on GRE or
No,
G
no, no,
or
no, 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 no. They don't consider that. They only want to what they want to consider is the your CV. Okay,
okay?
say you graduated in 2015, for
Yeah,
instance, and you are now applying to study again in 2024. That's
yeah,
like 9 years gap, right?
true.
Now,
Yeah,
what they want to see is that you have to be able to justify what happened between that gap.
yeah,
How has your life been better in that 5 years? What have you done for yourself and your community? If you're
yeah,
able to prove it in writing, and state it and it aligns with the goal
yeah,
of the founder of the scholarship, you will
yeah,
get it. I tested, you know me, I
yeah, yeah,
tested, I applied for gap year even though I did not qualify. And
yeah,
when I applied for it, the scholarship team got back
Yeah.
to me, sent email to me that my essay was actually very good and I was qualified, but
Yeah.
they checked my CV and they
Yeah.
saw that the gap year. So what they
Yeah.
said was that you have to have at least 5 years gap. That
Okay.
they said my
I didn't know
gap,
about that actually.
they said at least that my gap year was not up to 5 years. So that is the reason why they are not going to give me that. A lot of money, $10,000, man.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, maybe I'm taking time too much, but let me ask you this last one. So when people, what discourages people from trying to, think about postgraduates in United States or probably outside of the country is the funding. I mean,
Mm.
it's not cheap, right? So, what do you say, like in terms of scholarship, general scholarships opportunities? Like, should money be the major problem why people cannot, advance their studies outside of the shores of Nigeria if they really wish to? And how do you really think about scholarship? Well, is there a strategy around scholarships?
So, considering our reality as Nigerians, what's at stake?
Hmm.
Let's
Hmm.
not color it with
Yeah.
any rainbow color. You need money
Hmm.
from Nigeria.
Hmm.
From consider the fact that you want to write GRE. I
Yeah.
think the GRE now, the minimum GRE is around two. Is it $270 or something?
I think the last time I wrote mine was about $200. I don't know how much
I
it
think
is.
it's more than that now. I think GRE is around 250, 270. Now,
Hmm.
you need now convert that to $50 to Nigerian money.
Okay, that's almost like becoming almost half a million going on now.
Yeah, when you are even done with all the application, let me jump forward. When you are
Yeah,
done with all the application and you are given admission, you still
yeah.
have to pay a certain money that we call service fee. That's three sixty
Oh,
dollars.
okay, yeah. Service fee too is there. Yeah,
That's $360. That's a lot of money. Plus all
yeah,
the normal application fee and all, it costs
yeah,
money. But the good thing is that it is doable if that is what you want to do.
yeah.
Nigeria is a hotbed of opportunities too. People are ready
Mm,
to help. I've seen a
yeah.
lot of people on Twitter and on LinkedIn that
Mm,
secure admission that they needed 1.5 million naira, 1.8 million naira for flights
wow.
that all of us have to just keep donating until they're able to get because you get the admission, you should go.
Yeah,
You understand? So you need money, but money is not the priority, actually.
yeah.
It is your will to go. It is
On a
your
lighter note, Mr. Shegun, when are you going back to Nigeria to give back to the country? I mean, you are loaded, and I think at the point you need to like go back and give back, fix the system.
okay. That
Or you don't have a plan.
you're actually setting a bad boy for me to run into. But anyway, but,
Okay, okay, okay.
but when Nigeria
I'm just messing with you.
when Nigeria thinks that they need me, they will call for me. And when they call for me, I
Okay,
will answer.
fair enough. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Let's end this conversation. Thank you very much, Mr. Shegun Kwande. I know we banter a lot, but we can't banter too much on this
Yeah.
video because it's going live. So, thank you. I think I'll probably bring you back later on. I don't know the topic I'm going to engage you on. Maybe I will engage you on visa. It's also another level of problem when you get admission. I know we met in Abuja when we were trying to get a visa and all of that.
Yeah, that was true. It
I mean,
was,
that was how we met. Actually, we
yes,
met in
that
Abuja
was
when we were doing a visa
interview and all.
visa interview to get visa to United States. So that was where we met. We from there we
Connect.
met at the airport again. From there we stayed together in my hostel before my people pursued you. So I mean, I'm just saying that there is a kind of history of how we have come this far.
Yes, the
But
cadence.
I also think that we have a lot of things to share, especially when people are trying to make these decisions so that they don't make like similar mistakes that we probably made. So I'll bring it back. I will think about what I'm going to discuss with you next when I'm bringing it back.
You
But I
know,
mean, thank you very much. I think I enjoyed the conversation. I hope people find it very useful because that is my goal. I'm just trying as much as possible to push out information that we didn't see like actively when we're trying to like explore these options so that we can share things and let people really make smart decisions. Again, if you have questions or comments, you can comment on the on the YouTube page. I will try as much as possible to respond. If Shegun wants to respond as well, I can probably ask him to give me answers to some questions. And you should subscribe because I'm going to be doing this series like almost every time now. I'm going to do another series, talking about the different green card visa pathways. I mean, I'll be doing a lot as I'll be thinking along what people really want to hear, what people want to no, I mean, I'll be thinking about friends that I think have like unique experience to help. So again, thank you. You can subscribe to this channel so that you can see my videos anytime I come online. I will see you again in my next video. Thank you, Mr. Shagun.
Thank you so much
Bye
for
bye.
bringing me. I wish
Yeah.
yes, thank you so much.